Number 5, sunk cost fallacy. This is the idea that because you've invested a huge amount of time, effort, blood, sweat, tears, money maybe even, that the thing that you are doing is something that you should continue to do. That all of this effort, all of this hard work is really worth continuing because there's going to be a fantastic ROI out there eventually. This is not always the case. If we pause and stop and assess whether or not, let's say, a business venture is actually going to produce something of value, a monetary success to the individuals involved, that decision cannot be made based on the amount of hard work, blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into the work so far. That is not a direct correlation of the future success, but it's a powerful emotional reason to continue to keep going with whatever it is that you're currently engaged in. It's really tough to face ourselves in the mirror and say, I've put a ton of money, a ton of time and effort into X thing, and don't tell anybody, but I think that was a waste. We're not comfortable acknowledging that to other people, let alone to ourselves standing in front of the mirror. Just because you've put a lot of time and effort into the thing doesn't mean it's something that you should continue doing. Stop. Assess whether or not continuing to do so is going to produce value that you can actually touch and feel. That value doesn't have to be monetary. It can be continued emotional value, but the ROI needs to be there. And the ROI isn't just so that you can say, well, because I've already put this much in, I should keep going. Whenever you are about to make a decision, think about which authority figures might be exerting an influence on your reasoning. And when you encounter one in the flesh, do your best to challenge him or her. Our next problem with logic and thinking, in Dobelli's work, it's number 9. We call this the authority bias. When somebody that we have a great deal of respect for tells us something, we have a tendency to just assume that it's hard fact. We forget that that person has their own emotional investments in certain thoughts, ideas, and beliefs, and we take it as gospel truth. There's a problem with that, obviously. Even if it's an authority figure that we authentically believe and truly does have a significant amount of expertise in a particular area. For example, I'm a self-defense instructor. I get asked to speak and do trainings all across the planet, and so people are going to naturally assign a certain degree of authority to what I have to say. I also have a background as a psychotherapist. I have a doctorate in psychology, a master's degree in professional counseling, and I'm licensed as a professional counselor. I can hang on a shingle, I can diagnose, I can treat, and I can bill your insurance for it. All of those things cause some people that I know and have worked with and done presentations for to assign a level of authority to me that doesn't belong to me, doesn't belong to anyone. We have to remember that when someone is speaking and we're nodding our heads and listening to what they're saying and taking it all in and agreeing with it, that they have, we have our own biases that influence how we emphasize what we emphasize. If you really want to take what an authority figure gives you all the way to your own personal bank as far as knowledge and decision making, go check it out for yourself. Find out the places that our own personal influences, wants, desire, hopes, mistakes, are going to influence how we share that information. You go get the data yourself and decide how you're going to apply it. For God's sake, all of the God's sakes, do not take my word for it.